Good racing, and once the good racing comes along, the crowds come along as well.
All right, well, there's the scene in the mounting yard, but we'll take a look at the totes just before all of the horses come in. Citizen at the moment, 225 and 105. The Melbourne Cup winner last year, Terrific, 1365 and 320. King's Hyde, 255 and 85, a former VRC Derby winner. All ashore with Mick Dittman going for the big race double, 765 and 185. Rizzi, as you'd expect, is out at big odds, $45 and 9.55. Equidity, 19.95 and 5.60. The West Australian Pago Mystery, $4.35 and $1.20. Go-Pack, $8.10 and $1.95. Grey Fillet, $70 and $16. Over the page we go to Kingston Rule, well in the betting, $4.25 and $1.15. K-Row Lad, $47 and $11. Zabeel, it'll be interesting to see how he looks in the mounting yard, $2.40 and $1.35. Interstellar, or can he give Bart Cummings his 8th Melbourne Cup later this year? He's right in contention, $6.85 and $1.95. Double Gin, who's got plenty of speed, $20 and $4.60. And of course the other two, Frontier Boy and our Sacrosanct, are at big odds. So a big field of 16, and they're in the mounting yard. Let's take a look at the runners now, starting off with Citizen number 1. Neville Wilson in the saddle. Citizen, of course, took all before him in the autumn, won the Queen Elizabeth Stakes. That was 3 runs ago when he beat Better Loosen Up. He then ran 4th, and a disappointing 4th in the Sydney Cup. And that was on a very heavy track, of course, behind King Aussie. And there's Citizen coming down. He's a late arrival in the mounting yard, just leaving the birdcage now. And at his first appearance back, he won the Liston Stakes at Weight for Age, defeating Kirksight, and looked very impressive over the 1,400 metres. Citizen, he's a very fit racehorse. There's not much of him. He's only pint size, and he's got 58.5 kilos, but he's got class written all over him, and he's the one to beat.
Number 2 is Terrific, with Darren Gouch in the saddle, last year's Melbourne Cup winner, of course. You can see he's just a little bit dull in the coach yet, and Lee Friedman's taking him along quietly with the first Tuesday in November very much in mind. Terrific resumed with a good 9th at Sandown. That was a good effort for a horse like him, but I think he'll find this difficult.
King's High, Graham.
Number 3 is King's High with Gary Clark in the saddle. My selection in the race. He resumed with a brilliant first up 3rd behind Street Ruffian in the Manicato at Moonee Valley. He appreciates racing at Flemington, and he's going to be very, very hard to beat.
Right, number 4 is All Ashore, and as I said, Mick Dittman going for the big race double. We'll take a look at King's High when we get a chance, but All Ashore, this horse won his last start at the Gold Coast Gold Market, and he defeated Regiment, won by 2 lengths, and that was an impressive effort over 1,400 metres. There you can see him, races bandaged and in blinkers. And Mick Dittman, of course, had the choice of riding Citizen, but elected to ride All Ashore because it's trained by his wife, and as we all know, you certainly don't disagree with wives. And All Ashore, number 4, is considered very highly by the stable, and he's being aimed towards the big cups later in the spring. Number 5 is Rizzi, Stephen King in the saddle. And this horse, of course, was favourite for the Melbourne Cup at one stage last year until he broke down in the LKS McKinnon Stakes. He's very smart. He finished last in that race, and then he returned and ran over 1,100 metres. That was just a pipe opener for him. He finished down the track in the Liston Stakes at Sandown Park. He'll need it longer, Rizzi, number 5.
Number 6 is Equidity. David Walsh in the saddle, first of the New Zealanders to come across with the cups in mind. He was a good last start, winner of the Air New Zealand Handicap, a good race in New Zealand back in April. He looks pretty well in condition today, but I would think that Equidity will improve on whatever he does in this.
Pago Mystery is number 7 with Damien Oliver in the saddle. He's a big, strong type of horse, an entire 5-year-old. He ran 2nd at Caulfield at his last start. That was in the Memsey Stakes last week behind the Phantom, and was only beaten a long neck, and he was running on pretty well at the end of the race. Prior to that, his Perth form had been excellent, and at $4.10 round about the 7-to-1 mark on the tote, he's a definite chance.
Number 8 is Go Pack. He's an each-way chance in the race. 2 runs back from a spell have been quite reasonable. A 9th in the Moondar Plate at Sandown, wasn't far away, and then he ran quite a respectable race in the Liston Stakes. He'll appreciate the 1,600 metres, but he's drawn out wide in 15, and that will present problems for jockey Greg Hall.
We might just have a look at King's High. There he is, the Derby winner as a 3-year-old. He's now 5 years old, of course. $2.60. There's plenty of confidence in the stable about King's High. They don't think there's much between him and Zabeel. In fact, on track work, I think they're probably thinking that King's High might even beat Zabeel home, but he certainly looks well and he doesn't lack anything on the score of fitness. Number 9 is Grey Fillet. If you like omens, don't look at the colours Grey Fillet is carrying. It's got the hoodoo all-white colours, but would need to improve. It ran 14th in the Liston Stakes at Sandown and is at big odds.
Number 10 is Kingston Rule with Len Maund in the saddle. This horse will run a very bold race. In fact, I think he'll finish in the money. Didn't have much luck when 5th behind the Phantom in the Memsie Stakes at Caulfield last week. Was travel wide, force wide. He'll improve on the good track today, and Kingston Rule's got a very good chance.
K-Rail Lad, number 11, with Gary Willards in the saddle, and he finished down the track in the Memsie Stakes at Caulfield, won by the Phantom. Prior to that, fair form in New Zealand, but I think he's finding the company just a little too rich over the 1600 today.
Number 12 is Zabeel with Michael Clark in the saddle. He looks a magnificent individual, as you can see on the way to the barrier. His form was disappointing when only 9th in the Manikato Stakes. It's a big test for him today because excuses were made for him after the Manikato, but unless he runs a bowl race today, you'd have to have a query over Zabeel.
The Bart Cummings polish on number 13, Interstellar, and Shane Dyer's in the saddle. You won't miss this horse. It's got a white mark on its rump. It's just on the other side at the moment, the offside of the horse, but you'll see when it turns around. Interstellar's got a lot of ability, and forget about its last 3 starts, the way they look on paper, 13th, 7th and 5th. He's a very smart horse and he'll be running on. There's that mark I spoke of, and Interstellar's amongst the chances.
Number 14 is Double Gin. He looks like setting the pace in this race. Ran quite a nice 7th to Citizen in the Liston Stakes, and he'll lead for a long way.
All right, and the other 2, Frontier Boy and Our Sacrosanct, certainly going to find this a little bit too short at this stage of their preparations. But it's a hot field for race number 5, the Craigley Stakes, over 1,600 metres, $301,000 in prize money, and we'll return live to Flemington with a live telecast of the big weight for age race of the day after this. They're moving into the stalls for the running of the Craigley Stakes, checking the football score at the moment in the qualifying final out at VFL Park. Collingwood 2-3-15, leading the West Coast Eagles 1-1-7. Peter Dacos and Gavin Brown, the goal kickers for Collingwood. A full report tonight, but they're almost ready for the Craigley. Here's Dan Malicki as we take a look at the last-minute totes.
Sedestin 220, surprisingly much better odds on track. King's High will start the favourite ahead of Sedestin. Zabeel 3rd pick, and then Kingston Rule and Pago Mystery. They're the main 5 chances according to the bookmakers. Kingston Rule's at $4.40 on the tote. Zabeel's at $2.45, and at that price he'll run 2nd favourite. Sedestin's just favourite on the machine. Now Frontier Boy will be the last one to link up. The Craigley Stakes of 1990. Frontier Boy goes in, trained by Lee Friedman. His other runner is Terrific. Light on. Set for the Craigley, and they're off and racing now. One of the first to begin, King's High down near the inside from Our Sacrosanct, and the New Zealander Equidity away well. Pago Mystery going up near the lead with K-Rail Lad, followed by Double Gin. He wants to lead today, and Go Pack around them out deep, followed by Zabeel. All ashore drifts back to about midfield. Terrific, Sedestin inside him, followed by Frontier Boy, Kingston Rule, Grey Fillet. Nay Rizzy second last, and 2 lengths away, Interstellar at the rear. 1,200 metres to go. Double Gin going hard to try and get around Pago Mystery. He can't for the moment, and they're joint leaders by a length to Zabeel going up 3rd, followed by Equidity. On the inside, K-Rail Lad, a length and a half away, then a King's High and Go Pack. 5 lengths away, Our Sacrosanct and Sedestin, a length and a half to All Ashore. 4 lengths away, Terrific, followed by Grey Fillet. Over on the inside was Kingston Rule, then Frontier Boy. 2 lengths to Nay Rizzy, and 2 lengths away, Interstellar. 20 lengths between first from last with 700 metres to travel. And Pago Mystery led a half a length to Double Gin under pressure. Zabeel went up quickly 3rd. Go Pack around the outside, then King's High, followed by K-Rail Lad under pressure. Our Sacrosanct behind those, followed by Equidity. All Ashore running on from Sedestin, and then came Kingston Rule out very wide. At the top of the straight, 400 metres to go. Zabeel went to the front. Go Pack out after him, and down the outside, Our Sacrosanct, followed by King's High behind those, Pago Mystery. Zabeel in front for Michael Clark. Go Pack trying to wear it down. Our Sacrosanct down the outside. Zabeel a length and a half in front of Go Pack and Our Sacrosanct. Zabeel still a length in front. Go Pack is trying very hard. Sedestin gets to 3rd. Zabeel in front. Zabeel wins a neck. Go Pack second, Sedestin third, our Sacrosanct. What a run it for. Kingston Rule flew home on the outside, then King's High. All Ashore, Interstellar, Equidity, Double Gin, Terrific, Frontier Boy, Pago, Mystery, Nay, Rizzy. Then Kyrau Lad, and last in was Grey Fillet. Zabeel is back to his best. Number 12, ridden by Michael Clark, is the winner of the Craigley Stakes. Go Pack. Gee, he's going to shorten up dramatically in Caulfield and Melbourne Cup betting. It was a huge run. And Sedestin's performance has been very good. He would have lost no admirers with that performance, because at the 800 he must have been 10 lengths off the lead, whereas Zabeel can sit up on the speed. He went to the front probably earlier than Michael Clark would have wanted him to, but it's been a very dogged and courageous performance back here at Flemington today. A big form reversal on his first up performance in the Manikato. Go Pack tries hard. It was a top run. Look at our Sacrosanct. At any old odds, about 200 to 1 on the total. Looked at big danger at the 400. He's in third placing, 100 metres from the post, when Sedestin just claimed him. But Zabeel hangs on and wins by about a half a length at the post, but a big run Go Pack. Sedestin third, and Kingston Rule is inches away in fourth placing. Another tip-top performance. David Hayes, the winning trainer of Zabeel, happy in one regard. He got to the post, whereas King's High a little bit disappointing, and he's in the winner's enclosure with Peter.
Thanks, Dan. Well, David, I suppose this is the first of many times in the winner's circle, hopefully with the feature races here at Flemington over the spring.
Oh, it's a big thrill to win one of these big ones, especially with a horse of that class. It was fantastic.
Speaking of class, the bloke sitting on his back's not bad either, is he?
No, he summed it up quickly, and really, I was quite surprised he was so close, but that's what top jockeys are for.
The decisive move of the race, probably about the 700-metre mark where he came off the rail there?
Yeah, I think so. He just sort of summed it up and decided that he had to be there, and it was the right move. It was fantastic.
He's obviously got a big heart, this horse, because the challenges were coming at about the 200-metre mark, but on the post he was going as well as anything.
I was quite confident when Michael hadn't gone for the whip coming to the 250, and because I know the horse finds so much once he gives him a belt, and his condition was just giving out on the line, but that's because he moved a little bit earlier than planned, and they always sort of think so. There's a lot of improvement in this horse.
All right, we hope there is, and congratulations again, David.
Thank you.
David Hayes, the winning trainer, and Dan, I don't think it'll be the last time we see him in the winner's circle over the carnival.
He's got a great stable coming to hand. Better Loosen Up, Zabeel, King's High, just to name a few, as well as some of the 3-year-olds, including Road Song. But Zabeel's got the money. Here's the last 800 metres of the race. Double Gin and Pago Mystery went very hard early. Zabeel sat on them, and the challenges were starting to come at the 600-metre point. Followed by Kyrau Lad under pressure. Our Sacrosanct behind those, followed by Equidity. All Ashore running on from Sedestin, and then came Kingston Rule out very wide. At the top of the straight, 400 metres to go. Zabeel went to the front. Go Pack out after him, and down the outside, our Sacrosanct, followed by King's High behind those, Pago Mystery. Zabeel in front for Michael Clark. Go Pack trying to wear it down. Our Sacrosanct down the outside. Zabeel a length and a half in front of Go Pack and our Sacrosanct. Zabeel still a length in front. Go Pack is trying very hard. Sedestin gets to third. Zabeel in front. Here's Zabeel stopping to a half a length line right on the post, and they clock 136.5, which is 2.5 outside Vo Rogue's track record here at 1 minute and 34. Zabeel, winner of the Craigley Stakes, and he takes his prize money over $1 million. It's now about $1,100,000 in prize money, and that was Zabeel's 7th win from 16 starts, and he too could be another star of the spring. We'll come back with a presentation and totes on the Craigley shortly.
Latest score in the football out at VFL Park in the qualifying final. Collingwood 2-5-17 leading the West Coast Eagles 2-1-13. That progressive score from the first quarter of the qualifying final. Well, it's been a great day of racing out here at Flemington this afternoon, the Craigley Stakes, and a great win by Zabeel. He fought off all the challenges. There were a couple of good runs in the race. Sedestin, I thought, was quite impressive in running on pretty well. And a horse called All Ashore also ran on nicely too to be behind the place getters. The dividends, Zabeel to pay $2.70 for the win, $1.30 for the place. Go Pack second, $2.05, and Sedestin running into third placing to pay 95 cents. The Quinella on that race paid $40.90. The trifecta, $300.65. And the running double paid a dividend of $10.60. And there is the winner, Zabeel, and he's turned into a magnificent animal. There'll be a lot more wins in store for him. But the Craigley Stakes is the race he's won today. And for the presentation, it's my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Victoria Racing Club, Mr. Peter Armitage.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Flemington on this beautiful Craigley Stakes day. And we've just seen a very, very good horse, Zabeel, win this race. And it is my pleasure, on behalf of the Victoria Racing Club, to present this beautiful trophy to Mr. David Hayes, who I hope will somehow get it to Sheikh Hamdan. I'm not volunteering to take it over there, but David, our congratulations on your biggest win to date, and I'd also like to congratulate Michael Clark on an excellent ride. And I hope we see a lot more of you, David, and a lot more of Zabeel. Well done.
David Hayes, the winning trainer, just about to accept the trophy, and Zabeel, the winning horse, looks a marvel too, and he did look like that on the track as well. His condition had picked up remarkably since he's run in the Manicato, and well, he could be a Cox Plate horse, Graham.
He certainly looks a Cox Plate horse. It'll be interesting to see whether David Hayes would even go for the Cups, because he's only got 53 kilos in the Caulfield Cup, for instance.
Graham, thanks very much. Peter Donegan, thank you. We look forward to the rugby very shortly. Ta-da for now.
Sydney Colt Bureaucracy stamped his quality with a record-breaking win in the Ascot Vale Stakes at Flemington today. With Mick Dittman riding brilliantly, Bureaucracy clipped a half a second off the race record set by the champion Manicato in 1978. And Zabeel was back to his best, winning the Craigley. The first was a steeplechase. It was won by Vim, an 11-year-old, who showed a ton of fight. Hardy Geared and Greg Hall scored in the second, making it 3 in a row over Temperate King and Flicks Breeze. The third went to Kilkey, who had a perfect run with Kevin Forrester aboard. The second horse, Sir Banks, was a big run. First of our replays, the Ascot Vale Canny Lad favourite.
300 and Bureaucracy dash to the front from Storaya. 2 lengths back is Canny Lad, but Bureaucracy clear with 100 metres to go. Dittman pulled the whip, he's a length. Storaya, Canny Lad 3 lengths astern. Bureaucracy's finding plenty, holding Storaya, and Bureaucracy wins the Ascot Vale, a length Storaya. 2.5 lengths away, third, Canny Lad in a photo.
He was easy in the betting, but it was an outstanding win on the track. Canny Lad, the favourite at 7-4, battled on. The Craigley next.
Sacrosancta's running on well on the outside. King's High's coming with it. Tango Mystery gone, Citizen running on. Zabeel Clark went for the whip. He's holding Go Pack, Sacrosanct, then King's High. It's Zabeel in front at the 100. Go Pack raises another effort. Zabeel is holding him though. Zabeel's back. Zabeel wins at 3/4. Go Pack. Citizen got up and ran third, 2 lengths.
Had an ordinary first up run at Moonee Valley, but back to his best today, Zabeel, posting his 5th win at Flemington. Dittman again in the next.
The Moon is running on, but Natural Wonder is in front. She's drawn a length clear, and Dittman going for the lick of his life, leads by a length. Strip the Moon coming out after Natural Wonder, but Natural Wonder's finding plenty, and the Bonnie wins again. Natural Wonder has beaten Strip the Moon, and Princess Pushy may have grabbed third in front of...
She's won 5 of her last 6 starts, racing in a purple patch at the moment, Natural Wonder. The sprint race 7 and a good finish.
After it is Calgarin Town, and Rechabite showing the whip, is finishing pretty quickly now. Sender Sign folds up, and Rechabite hits the front. Dashes clear, Rare Chance and Grandiose coming. Rechabite stopping a little bit. Rare Chance grabs him, got there, Rare Chance a nose. Rare Chance has got up to win from Rechabite, and Grandiose is close up third.
Rechabite certainly looked home, but the big effort coming from Barrier 22 just telling on him first up from a spell, and Rare Chance getting up to win at 20s. And the last was another close one with Ali Boy winning by a short half head at 9-1 from a Freed, and Royal Creation, the well-back favourite, third. Daily double today, 12 and 11, 81.65. Extra, 11 and 6 paid $39 even. Quadrella, $354 and 45 cents. And the Quad Extra, a healthy $6,483.75. It's been an exciting day, but that's it, Sue.
A busy one too.
I'll say, yeah.
Terrific. Thanks, Greg, very much. Now to
a sensational match at Waverley. Collingwood and the Eagles have played a draw in the qualifying final, which throws the entire final series wide open. The Eagles had been quoted at pre-match odds of 5-1, and they had a big chance of collecting when Peter Sumich lined up with seconds remaining.
Considering they had a good 70% of possession in the first term, Collingwood really should have led by more than 5 points at quarter time. As it was, 2 of their 3 goals were scored by Gavin Brown from very dubious marks. The best of the West Coasters' goals came from Brett Heady.
He's got it.
And there were plenty of signs of nerves early on, with missed kicks, and misdirected kicks.
Francis kicks the wrong way.
A contributing factor here may have been the Eagles' tackling, which was terrific. It was this and a succession of long shots for goal which best characterised the Eagles' efforts in term 2. In fact, they won the lead before Doug Barwick, Gavin Brown and Peter Dacos scored to win a 12-point break back Collingwood's way at half-time. In a tight and torrid third term, one sequence stood out, and it typified the benefits of perseverance.
That is a magic goal.
Lewis's goal helped get the Eagles within 2 points at three-quarter time, and by midway through the final term, they were 10 points up.
Sumic strikes it.
Brian Taylor, then Dacos put the Pies back in front. In fact, they were 1 point in front when Peter Sumic marked with seconds remaining.
Missed. It's a tie.
It'll be a draw.
It is a tie. There's the siren.
It's a draw. A sensation.
You know, the draw was probably a good result, but we've got to do the same thing again. We've got to win next week and make sure we get go straight in the grand final. So we're back to square one.
The game will be replayed next Saturday, which puts the remaining final matches back a week and negates the Bombers' advantage of a week's rest.
Yesterday it was Flemington, 2 of the very big races as far as the spring's concerned, the Craigley Stakes and the Ascot Vale. Over the years there's been a wonderful mix in the Craigley Stakes. This is a mile race or 1,600 metres for weight for age horses. Lightfingers in 65 won, she went on to win the Melbourne Cup. 66 Tobin Bronze won, he went on to win a Cox Plate. So you've got very different horses, and Dual Choice, a wonderful sprinter, has won this race as well. So as I said, you get a real mix, you get the top horses that can sprint and also stay, and yesterday's field was an outstanding lineup. It wasn't only Melbourne's beautiful spring day that had that feeling of cups in the air at Flemington, it was the quality of the horses in the Craigley Stakes. There was King's High, who won the Derby 2 years ago. Terrific, last year's Melbourne Cup winner. Siddiston, the favourite for this year's Melbourne Cup, and Zabil, the horse that David Hayes hopes will win the Cox Plate for him this season. Zabil, with Michael Clark up, was always in the box seat.
Making a good run down the outside is our Sacrosanct, and Gopak is very prominent coming into the picture too as they get past the 400. Zabil's taken the lead from Gopak. Pago Mystery is third, followed by King's High, and down the outside finishing on is our Sacrosanct from a long way back, and a good long gap to Siddiston as they come down inside the final 200. Zabil is the leader from Gopak. On the outside, our Sacrosanct, then Citizen finishing very fast, but Zabil's in front close to home, holding Gopak, and Zabil has won by a half length to Gopak. I think Citizen's run third ahead.
It was an impressive performance from Zabil, and David Hayes couldn't hide his enthusiasm after the race.
That's right. Going into this race, I wasn't quite sure. You know, after his run at Moonee Valley, he might have been looking for a mile and a half, but the way he raced today had Cox Plate written all over him.
Bob Hoysted, the trainer of Siddiston, was far from unhappy with his performance, and he's still right on cue for the Melbourne Cup.
Siddiston lost the race, but lost nothing as a Cups prospect.
I think you summed it up pretty well there, Keith. That's my summing up of it. He's never really been a 1,600-metre horse anyway, but I did expect him to win today. Disappointed for mine, the owner's sake, and the people who backed him that he didn't win, but they can't be disappointed with the run he gave them.
The other feature race at Flemington was the Ascot Vale Stakes for the 3-year-olds, worth $250,000. Canny Ladd was resuming. Last season, he was the top 2-year-old in Australia, winning the Golden Slipper, and he's one of the glamour horses. One of the big prospects against him came from Sydney Bureaucracy. He's been a star in recent weeks, and he had fitness on his side.
Dipman went for home. He sprinted a length in front. Staraya going after him, followed by Canny Ladd. It's Bureaucracy, the leader at the 150-metre mark. Staraya trying to peg him back, but Bureaucracy is finding plenty. He's drawn a length in front of Staraya and Canny Ladd, and Bureaucracy, he's a very good colt, wins 3/4 of a length. Staraya second, 3 away. Third in the race is Canny Ladd.
Bureaucracy was very impressive, and champion jockey Mick Dipman believes the horse has an enormous future this spring.
I was of the opinion before the race that he was probably equal to Star Watch on the 2-year-olds that I've ridden. But, you know, his performance today was probably better than what I thought he could do.
Well, it's the fastest any 3-year-old has run and won the Ascot Vale, quicker even than Manicato. Vane won the first one in 69, so he's in good company. Melbourne Cup market, where does it sit after yesterday's meeting? Well, Citizen maintained his position with the Phantom as equal favourite at 7-1. Interstellar, Narizi and Shiroza at 12s. Shalaya, we'll talk about her in a moment, superimposed terrific at 14s. Aquinella at last year, Flying Luskin, Double Gin and Kesem, who I wouldn't think would run at 16s. But the Phantom and Citizen are the two horses that are dominating the Melbourne Cup at the moment. Let's go from Melbourne and to Sydney. The big spring racing carnival was at Rose Hill yesterday, and the star performer was undoubtedly the imported miler Al Quoz. Now, we just saw David Hayes win the Craigley with Zabil. He's also the trainer of this horse, Al Quoz, and it was ridden brilliantly by Darren Beedman. Al Quoz's performance was outstanding. He grabbed the lead from the favourite Show County right in the last hop. But earlier in the day, a Melbourne Cup hope, Shalaya, we just saw her in the market, put in an eye-catching run, and she's got her sights on the first Tuesday in November.
With Jim Cassidy up, Shalaya was taking another step towards her ultimate mission, the Melbourne Cup. Strongly supported at 9-2, the covetous 5-year-old settled midfield in the green colours with black cap, while closer to the front, 20-1 shot Brixton Town in the white and sky blue cap was making his move.
A gap then to Tradrigar Lad, followed by No Bugles and Zama Boy, and Star Kayaru as last as they turn the corner into the straight, and Brixton Town sweeping around the outsiders, race to the lead as they turn for home. It's Brixton Town kicking away from Mart C, Moniusco, and then Miss Remus and Miss Amazer, followed by Shallier, who's starting to grind home strongly. Brixton Town is running off the track. He's feeling the old legs. He's veered right out into the middle. Shallier under her big weight is trying desperately, but Brixton Town in front. Little Shallier trying her heart out. Brixton Town will hold on and win, and Brixton Town beats Shallier, who was gallant in defeat.
Shalaya pleased Cassidy with her strength over the final 300 metres, and the big mare lost no fans in finishing second. In the Theo Marks quality, Bart Cummings saddled up Solar Circle, his top 3-year-old of last season, pitting him against bull-like Sydney sprinter Show County and the Hayes stable imported miler Al Quoz. Settled 8 lengths back in the blue with white cap, Al Quoz was resuming after a promising 5th behind Strasbrook in the George Ryder.
And the flying feet of Show County are scorching turf. He's 2 in front. West Dancer second, Truly Roman third, followed by High Regard on the outside of Wong, scrubbed along, and then Ricochet, Rosie and Boasting. Al Quoz ran into a dead end on the inside of Comrade, a gap to Dual Treasures, and Solar Circle is 15 lengths from the lead last as they turn the corner. Show County headed up for home. West Dancer coming after him quickly, and Wood is getting anxious on Show County. West Dancer trying to get to him. They're clear of High Regard, followed by Wong and then Comrade. Show County still in front at the 200. In fact, he got away from West Dancer. Little Show County drew clear of West Dancer. Look at Al Quoz, the imported galloper, coming home 100 miles an hour. Show County walking. Al Quoz is grabbing him as they get to the line. Oh, golly, it's close.
Speaking for his son David, Colin Hayes said Al Quoz might now be set on a more ambitious mission.
Maybe the Cox Plate. He hasn't won over a mile in Europe, but he did look very promising there. And if he improves like Almerad did, I'll be delighted.
I got caught in behind a couple of slow horses, and I didn't want to make a run on him from that stage, and just held up till I got in the straight and brought him out and come with a tremendous finish. And to win with that weight and from that far back, and to run the last 3 in 34.7 is a mighty effort.
Cummings was also pleased with Solar Circle's Cox Plate trial.
That's what he's programmed for, and I was very pleased with his run today, and I think he's on target for that race.
Bart Cummings talking about Solar Circle. Terrific to see Colin Hayes there at the track. And Al Quoz's colours, the colours that At Talak carried in 1986, the colours of Sheikh Hamdan of Dubai, and I'm sure the Sheikh in the Middle East at the moment has got a lot on his mind, and you would have heard about Al Quoz this morning. It might have cheered him up a bit. We take a break. After the break, we're talking American footy and also bodybuilding.